Hello and welcome back, everyone. Warm wishes to all. Yesterday, we did not had class because of the Christmas holiday. Okay, so let's continue the journey. Let me just know if I'm audible to all. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Just reply to me if I'm audible to everyone. Great. Thank you for your reply, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Most of the places it is holiday till 1st of Jan, and it's fine because we have only few things left out. Let's complete it off. We'll try to see if we can just yesterday if it was there, no Friday I would have completed the entire batch. But anyway, even I got notified when you got mail that we have declared holiday. Okay. Now let's understand how to make our application microservice resilient. Let's understand about one important concept here, which is circuit breaker pattern. How many of you have heard about this in the microservices era? If you have tried to understand from any of your own resources, have you all gone through, heard of it? Or in general, in your life, have you heard about circuit breaker pattern? Yes, no, maybe. Everyone in the class, are you all there? No. In general life, in your home, all of you have a circuit breakers. If you're an electrical engineer, if you're electronics engineer, or maybe in general non-microservice, non-software world, guys, it is one of the important part. And most of the interviews, if they are asking about microservices, they may ask question about circuit breaker pattern. Okay, which will make your application resilient. Example, guys, you may have multiple microservices. As we have only written Telesco service 1, Telesco service 2, we have multiple microservices available here. Okay, this is microservice number 1. This is which is our APIs, all about APIs. This is our microservice number 2, whatever it could be in that matter. Okay, this is our micro service number 3. All of them will be registered with the Eureka server, and all the important components we have discussed, and they'll ask about that in the interviews as well, whatever we have discussed. Which is the entry point? Which component is the entry point for all the requests coming to the application, guys? Which is that component? Allow me a minute. Okay, my board is gone. I'm just trying to reconnect. Okay. It is none other than the API gateway. This is our API gateway. So all the requests will be coming to this API gateway only, correct? From here, the request will route. Suppose it is routing to one of the microservice, and there is some delay in the response here due to the database delay, due to the networking issues, due to any other issues. It is taking a lot of time. That means at a time, assume that there are concurrent 30 requests coming to the same microservice at one go. All the 30 requests are coming to API gateway. From the API gateway itself, the routing is happening to the microservice. Now all the 30 requests are getting routed to from the API gateway only to a microservice, and there is a delay for the response from this microservice due to networking issue wherever it has been deployed, or maybe database is taking some time. Due to any reason, there is a delay. In that case, so many requests waiting here might create a burden to the API gateway, and there is a possibility API gateway might get affected. It may go down because of the high level of load. So many requests are waiting here, and the clients who are making the request, for them also they are not getting the proper message that what is wrong. They're just making the request and there is no response from the API. Are you all getting it, everyone? That means in case of such failure, how to manage the application, how to make your application resilient in such cases, in such failure, whenever such failure occurs in your microservice application. Yes, all of you. Not just that, maybe this entire microservice only is down. So many requests you are making to this. There is no response because it is down. So many requests are waiting here. Something has to go to the response to the client, and the burden should not come to API gateway. Unnecessary, even though there is no response from this microservice, continuously requests should not be routed here. We have to implement at this level itself. What is that? We have to make our application resilient. How to make your application resilient? By implementing one of the pattern, which is circuit breaker pattern. Now to implement circuit breaker pattern to make your application resilient, to detect the failures from a microservice, we had one of the popular implementation in the Spring, which is none other than which is Hystrix. Hystrix is a library which we used to use to implement the circuit breaker pattern to make your application resilient. But this is the story till Spring Boot 3, till Spring 5. For the so many Spring Boot versions, Hystrix used to use. Whenever they say that how to implement circuit breaker pattern, it was default that we have to just use Hystrix library. But it is not the case right now. Spring Boot 3 onwards, there is no support for Hystrix. Even if you try to implement this library, you will not get any support from Spring Boot. You may have to go with Resilience 4J library. Resilience 4J library, which is being used to implement the, okay, let me just get that, Resilience. I would like to open this. Take this, guys. So many things are coming up. The Spring Clouds circuit breaker protects. Okay, let me just go through this first in front of you. The Spring Cloud circuit breaker project contains implementation for Resilience 4J and Spring Retry. The APIs implemented in Spring Cloud circuit breaker live in Spring Cloud Commons. Okay, great. Now how to add this is what it is trying to say. Okay. All the configurations and how to do it. We will be going through these configurations also. I'll go back. Let me see if there is an official. Yeah. Resilience 4J is there, no? Circuit breaker. You can see here, guys. The circuit breaker is implemented via finite state machine with 3 normal state. What is a close, open, half open? I will tell you. Count base, time based sliding window, failure rate. I will be talking about all these important things. Okay, how exactly these things works. Okay, so now let me just go towards the implementation. If I have to go back here, my dear friends, if I have to refresh this, please understand here, there is something called as resilience 4J. Are you getting it? Spring Cloud Circuit Breaker with Resilience 4J as the underlying implementation. So from the Spring Boot 3 onwards, which library is used to implement circuit breaker pattern to make your application resilient, my dear friends? Is it Hystrix or is it Resilience 4J? It is none other than Resilience 4J. Fine. So this is the library which is needed. I'll not be doing anything. I'll just download this, and this library I will add in the existing API gateway application. Okay. I will just generate this. I'll open my application that will be available in my downloads. Let me open the folder. I'll go to my downloads. I'll open the pom.xml, and this one library I would like to just add. I would like to take this library from here. Where is our API gateway? I'll go to my API gateway, my dear friends. And in my API gateway, I would like to add it. Okay. I would like to save this. I'll say right click. I'll say Maven. Update the project. I'll say okay. Oops. It's very sad that I have not stopped all of them. The project have been updated, dear friends. Let me check the Maven dependencies. Load balancer, all of that are default. You need not to add. You can see circuit breaker resilience 4J. Resilience 4J, resilience 4J, resilience 4J. It has been added. Okay. All good, everyone? Yes. After which, I would like to add few of the properties which you will be understanding, and I will be in a position to explain also. Okay. I would like to just take this, go back to application.properties, and I would like to just add it here. Okay. I would like to just add it here. What is this? I'll be explaining you. These are the properties. First of all, using this, what is actuators, guys? To monitor your application, we go with the actuators. To monitor what is happening with respect to circuit breaker also, we have some of the properties which we have added here. That's it. Management.health. Circuit breakers also, I want to know the health. What is happening behind the scene at the circuit breaker implementation? Which state is it in? There are 3 important states which we will be discussing. To enable that endpoint, we have to add this. Rest 2 are just to enable all the endpoints of your actuators. Okay. Now this is just to check the status of circuit breaker if it is implementing. If the circuit breaker is triggered, right now it is in what state? To enable, we have to make it true. Then we have to make the sliding window type count base. You can make it time base also, count base also. What do you mean by that? If there are 10 requests coming to the application. Upon 10 requests, if 50% of the request out of 10, if 50% of the requests are failing, if my microservice is not giving me response for the 50% of the requests out of 10, then circuit breaker pattern should trigger. Circuit breaker should be triggered. So that is based on count. That means count base means upon 10 requests. If you go with time base, it is not 10 requests. It is like how much ever time you specify here. Okay. Count base means out of 10. You have to not just say 50%. You have to also add this. If you don't add this minimum number of calls, if you don't add the minimum number of calls, then this 50% will not be implemented. That means out of 10 requests going to a microservice via routing from API gateway, out of 10 requests are routing to a microservices via API gateway. If 50% of this 10 requests, that means if 5 requests are failing out of 10, then the circuit breaker pattern should trigger. Now to understand this, you need to also understand 3 important states. Which are those 3 important states if you ask me? Number 1 is open, number 1 is closed state. Then we have something called as open state. Then we have something called as half open state. Half open state. Closed state means everything is working fine. Circuit breaker pattern is not triggered. If you are making 10 requests to the application, 10 requests are routing, microservice is responding, there is no problem. Are you getting it, everyone in the class? That means it is in the closed state. If closed state means what, guys? Circuit breaker is triggered or circuit breaker did not triggered. Everything is well in your application. Everything is well. As I have configured already, count base. Out of 10 requests, if 5 requests, microservice is not responding. It need not to be from API gateway to microservice, guys. From microservice to microservice also you can implement circuit breaker pattern here. Usually we implement here in general. But if there is example, one microservice is making call to one more microservice, and if it is delay here due to network, due to database, or due to this is down, in that case also here also you can implement circuit breaker pattern. Are you getting it, everyone? Yes, no, maybe. Great. Now listen here. Out of 10, if 5 requests, if there is no response here, that means circuit breaker pattern should trigger and it will come to the open state. Which state? Open state. Fine. Now how long it should stay in the open state? I have specified here. I have just specified here. You can see. Stay in the open state for 5 seconds. Don't make any request to microservice. Don't make any request to the microservice. Now then, after which I have told here, slowly go to half open state. Half open state means try to make 1 or 2 requests and check if now microservice is responding or not. Try to send 1 or 2 requests. Now you have made 10 requests, 5 of them are failing, circuit breaker pattern triggered, then it is in the open state. That means in the open state, no requests are being made to microservice. Now after 5 seconds, I have told make some request. If 1 or 2 requests, it will slowly try to make. That means it is in the half open state. In the half open states, 1, 2, 3 requests out of all will try to make to the microservices if it is responding or not. If microservice starts to respond, it will go back to closed state. Closed state means circuit breaker pattern is now not in use. It is normally API gateway routing, microservices responding. It is routing, microservices responding. There is no issue in the entire architecture. Suppose in the semi-half state, 1 or 2 requests you are trying to make, it is still failing. Again, it will go back to open state only. In the open state, no request will be made to the microservices. And you can trigger the fallback logic. Fallback logic means if upon there is no response from the actual microservice, what you have to tell to the client. What is a logic? What is a fallback logic? If it is upon, if there is a failure, what is that you want to convey to the client? Is it like client should wait randomly for some random error messages, or you want to give some suitable message? That fallback logic will be triggered and that will be given to you. Now, if it is in the closed state, that means my circuit breaker pattern is not triggered. All the requests are routing successful to the microservice. Microservices are responding properly. Is that fine, everyone? All of you present? Are you all there? Yes, no, maybe. I have gone through the count base, guys. I have gone to the count base. Count base means upon 10 requests, if 50%, that is 5 requests are failing, then from the closed state, it will go to which state, my dear friends? It will go to open state. And in open state, I have asked it to stay for how long? 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, I have asked to make how many requests to microservice? 3. 3 means some requests are being made. From open state, it will go to which state? Half open state. For this 3 also, if there is no response from the API, will it go back to closed state? Will it go back to closed state or open state again? Open state. Again, it will come back. If it is responding, going back. Yes. So here I have told automatic transition from open to half open is enabled. Open to half open is enabled automatically. This is also very, very important, and that is what I have added this. Is this properties clear to everyone, guys? Now, those who are present in the class, is this properties clear to all? No issues? All good? Now, let me go back to the existing API routes, guys. This is how we have achieved the routing. Yes. No, you can write the fallback logic and you can convey the message to the client. Okay, but that loop will stay. Open to close to open, open to half open to close. That will be there. But if it is in the open state, one message will be conveyed to the client based on the fallback logic. Yes, Udebanu, you're right. Suppose, guys, a request is coming to the course info, which is our microservice number 1. Okay, I'll go back here in the handler function before even I build. I'll go back here and I'll say filter. Okay, and here I would like to go back and implement circuit breaker. I'll say here, this you will be able to do it if you have added resilience 4J dependency. If not, it will not work. I'll say here, circuit breaker filter function dot. See here, circuit breaker, we are getting it. I would like to choose this and I would like to specify. Okay, let me just go back here. All right, I have to specify the ID. Okay, maybe I'll give the ID as Telesco microservice 1. Oops. Telesco microservice 1 circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is the ID I have given here, and the fallback URI. If it is in the open state, that means no requests are being made. There is no load in the API gateway. However, our client is waiting for the response. Something has to be told to the client instead of just random errors, right? If you are making any request to applications, guys, if there is no proper message, random errors you are getting, or it is not giving you any response, loading, is it a good experience? No, right? So I would like to just go back here and say URI dot, I'll say here create. And now I would like to create the, I'll say here please forward to where there is an one more method, a fallback logic I will write by the name fallback route. Fallback route, I'll say here dot build. That's all. I would like to save this. Okay. Now I'll go back. I will write one more router function. I would like to take this. I would like to just take this. And of course, all these things I would like to remove for now. I would like to say here gateway router functions dot route. I will just give whatever name I have given here. Let me take it from here and I will say this should be executed upon this. Okay. And that's the method name also I would like to give it. Now after which I'll say here on which request dot get request. Okay. Dot the get request. Okay. Dot the get request, and the pattern which I would like to add here is, what is the pattern? This is the pattern which if it is okay, from here it should forward to this, and the handler request I would like to handle function I would like to implement using, I'll say here request is the variable name, lambda expression, the body is, I'll say server response dot status. I would like to give the status of my own choice. I would like to say here http status dot which one will be great. It's not because of the bad request. Maybe I'll go with internal server error or service unavailable or whatever. I'll say maybe service unavailable. And I would like to say here, I would like to just go back. I'll say here dot, I'll say body. If you want to add any message, that body also you can add it. Let me go back. It is of object type. Whatever you want, you can give here. You can create a Java object and you can give it's an object type. I would like to give one string type of message, which is whatever message, suitable message. Maybe I'll say here service currently unavailable. Okay. I'll say here try again after, I will say sometime. All right. I would like to save this. Done. Now let me just see if we could able to work with it or not, or if there is any issues here. All right. I would like to just go back and deploy my Eureka server first, which is the most important part. After deploying my Eureka servers, I'll deploy my microservices. How much ever microservices I have? I have microservice number 1. Let me deploy that. I have microservice number 2. Let me deploy that. It has been deployed. Now I'll go back and deploy my API gateway server. I'll go back and deploy the API gateway. API gateway is also getting deployed. Alright guys, let me just go to the browser. I would like to go back here. You can see guys, API gateway microservice number 1, microservice number 2 is deployed. Now, should we reach out to the endpoint through the actual port numbers where it is deployed, or through the API gateway port number, guys? API gateway port number, right, everyone? I would like to go back here. API gateway port number, course info. I'll make a call. I'll make a call to course info. See, guys, I'm getting the response. Any problem here to anyone? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, I'll go back since I have enabled the actuator also. I would like to take this, make a call, not to the course info. I'll say actuator, actuator slash health. Oh, not founder. Actuator. What is the endpoint which we have triggered? It was triggering, Udebanu. It was not triggering because of the application.properties names, but for the Java code, it was happening. It was working fine for us from the beginning only. In between, I had tried with the application.properties keys also. According to me, maybe that is because Java 14 I am using. Okay. Not for routing, I have shown. Okay. Not for this. Okay. Anyway, actuators, there is one endpoint I have to trigger here just to show you. What was that? Let me just ask. I'll go back to my application. I'll go back to the endpoints here. Okay. I'll go back to my uncle and I'll just ask. Did this now? How to? Hmm. I think if I have enabled this, is the spellings correct? Health, yes. Circuit breakers, does enabled, correct. I'll go back to my Postman tool again. It's the endpoints, correct. It's a get request, correct. Actuator, I think the spelling is also correct, and HEALT, correct. Why it is not found? Oh, maybe the dependency we have not added. My bad. My bad, guys. Really sorry. For very one simple, guys, dependency only we had not added. Admin server, we had added the dependency. Let me just add it from here, okay? For a very, very simple reason, which all of you knows very well. Okay. Let me go back to any of the microservices where we had already added the dependency on actuators. This dependency, I'll take it from here. I would like to go back to my API gateway, which is this. I'll go back to the pom.xml. And here I would like to just add this dependency also. I would like to save this. After saving, let me go back to API gateway. API gateway, I'm stopping and I'll update this. I'll say right click. I'll say run as or not run as, update the Maven, update the project. I'll say update. Fine. Now I'll redeploy the API gateway, guys. I would like to redeploy the API gateway. It is deployed, guys. I'll go back to my Postman tool. I'll make a call to this first of all. If I make a call to this, it is responding, guys, without any problem. I'll make a call to this. Guys, it is up. Circuit breaker is also implemented, but right now, please check this. In what state it is, guys? Is circuit breaker triggered or not? Is circuit breaker triggered? No, it is not triggered. Okay. Now I'll do one thing. I'll go back to my application. Intentionally, I'll fail the application. Okay. Sir, Telescope microservice number 1 it is, right? I would like to stop this, and after which I'll go back to my Postman tool. I'll make a call to this. Okay. Are you getting this, guys? Service currently unavailable. Try again after some time. And please check it. If I have to go back here and if I have to trigger the health, guys, still in the closed state. Okay. Fallback logic is getting executed, but it's still in the closed state. I'll go back and I'll make some many requests. Okay. So many requests I'm making, and I'll check this. It is in what state? Half open state. From open state, it went to half open state. Okay. Again, I'll make so many requests. It will go to open, half open to open. It will not be in the closed state. See here, it is still in the half open state. Are you getting it, everyone? All of you present in the class? Yes, no, maybe. Now, guys, I'll go back to my application. I'll deploy that application. This message you are getting, at least something is going to the client, right? Client is not just waiting. It service currently unavailable. Try again after some time. So you're getting the fallback logic. Now I'll go back and redeploy this application. Okay. Telescope microservice 1 is the application name, right? I'll say right click, run as Java application or Spring Boot application. Again, I'm deploying it. After deploying the application, guys, I'll go back to this and I will just refresh. It is available right now. I'll go back to my Postman tool. I'll make a call to it. Okay. If I make a call to it, it is available, guys. If I have to make a call to this, you can see here, still in the half open state, because 3-4 it will check, right? Now if I have to go after making 4 requests, if I check this, you can see it will be in the closed state, because 3 requests I have told from the half open only it has to make. After 3 responses, it will go back to closed state. That means circuit breaker is not triggered right now. All of you, are you understanding this? Yes, no, maybe. What is fallback logic and how it is there? So how to make your application resilient, guys? How to make your application resilient? Using, if you want, you can add the retry pattern also, guys. I'll do one thing. I'll go back to my properties and you can add this also, retry pattern. What do you mean by that? I'll go back to my API gateway and I'll ask before the circuit breaker triggers, right? I'm asking for the 3 attempts, wait for 2 seconds in each attempt. And if it is not giving response, then you implement the circuit breaker. Before circuit breaker, you keep on retry what is exactly happening. It is just a library, Aditya. Earlier we used to implement using the Hystrix, but from the Spring Boot 3 onwards, 3x onwards, Hystrix is not supported. It is outdated. And for that we have Resilience 4J library. That's it. Okay. Retry means, guys, it is just that you want to retry before the circuit breaker is implemented. Okay. So you can say for 3 attempts, don't even go for the circuit breaker. If it is not, keep on trying. Then, oh, there is no response. Let's go for the circuit breaker, and whatever configurations you have written here, it will work. Before circuit breaker configuration works, it will keep on retrying it. You can just implement no spring retry also, circuit breaker pattern also. Both of them are used for the making our application resilient. All right, everyone. Now, if I have to go back to the actual logic routes, I have just told that if there is no response, implement the circuit breaker, and this is my fallback logic. That's it. Nothing more apart from that. Now, circuit breaker right now I have implemented in the API gateway. Is it like you have to implement in the API gateway only? There is a question here, right? Is it like you have to implement in the API gateway? It's not compulsory that it should be in the API gateway. You can implement in one more microservice also. Especially whenever one microservice is making call to another microservice. One microservice is making call to another microservice. Then also circuit breaker pattern can be implemented. Is it fine, everyone? Yes. Now, guys, all the important components on which they may ask the common questions on the microservices has been covered. Out of all, Eureka server, Fing client, API gateway, circuit breaker pattern, Spring Cloud config server. How to manage application properties, configuration properties in microservice is the question. How do we usually manage, guys, application properties in microservice? Which component comes into picture there? In the microservice environment, so many applications will be there. How to manage the configuration properties? How to manage the application properties? Any answer? Which we have already implemented, guys. If you could tell me. Yes, Spring Cloud config. No, my dear friends. What is the purpose of Spring Cloud config server? Isn't it we manage configuration property by separating from the actual microservices by keeping in the remote repositories? All of you? That is the answer. Why are you not answering? Because these things is what, how to manage the actuator endpoints? Admin server. How to manage the performance, or how to know what is the flow of the application, where is the control, how my APIs are responding? Zipkin server. I hope these things are, yeah, I mean, okay, I hope you are understanding these things. This is like, you should be knowing it, and we have discussed that already in our classes. Guys, you will be getting the recorded content of microservices also from Naveen sir and myself, which is separate from what I have discussed in this classes. You will be getting the clarity on this. Okay, that also you will be getting it Monday or Tuesday next week. That also will be uploaded. Okay, yeah, we will have one kind of summary at the end. Now, guys, for the real-time data processing, real-time data processing with lowest latency possible. How to implement that in the microservice environment? If one microservice have to make call to one more microservice and the data should be there immediately, how to process the data? Many things are there, many implementation can be done. We have Apache Kafka, which is the most popular one. Apache Kafka is the most popular out of all. Are you there, everyone? Yes, no, maybe. The most popular one is Apache Kafka. Now, in the Apache Kafka concept, there are two important components. One is publisher, producer, and one more is subscriber, or we can say consumer. That means if one microservice, I have one microservice here, I will say it is microservice number 1. It has to produce the data, and there is one more microservice. It is microservice number 2. It has to take the data. Guys, assume this is a Jio Cinema or maybe Hotstar, Disney plus Hotstar, and this is the actual broadcasters who is broadcasting the cricket test match right now. So whatever is the score, it will give it, it will produce that, and one more microservice has to take that. One more application has to take that. If you want to give the data immediately to one more application with lowest latency possible, then in between what comes into picture? If you ask me, Kafka server comes into picture. Kafka server comes into picture. In the Kafka server, we have one more term called as Kafka topic. Kafka topic. Within the Kafka topic, we call one term called as message. Message means data. So this application will publish the data into Kafka topic, which is the message. Immediately, this message has to be subscribed by one more application. Especially the share market. Don't you think it has to be the lowest latency possible, guys? If there is a delay of 5 seconds also in what is happening in the market, if you are using 5 paisa, if I am using angel broking, if 5 paisa able to give you proper information, angel broking is taking 10 seconds of time. Don't you think it is a lakhs of rupees of loss? So there the data has to be immediately real time. Is the term real time means immediate data transform, data processing with lowest latency. Okay. Now the application which has to give the data is called as publisher application. Whichever microservice is actually generating the data is publisher. Whichever microservice is using the data is called as subscriber application. Now to run the Kafka server, guys, one more important component comes into picture where the Kafka server will run. What is that component? If you ask me, it is none other than Zookeeper. So first we should have a Zookeeper where Kafka server will be running. Inside the Kafka server, we will have a Kafka topic where actual actual message will be there, actual data will be there. Data we call it as message. So only we say Apache Kafka is a message broker. Message broker. That means data broker, information broker. Message means information. Information broker, real estate broker, message broker. That means it is the one who will take the message from one application and give that message to one more application in the lowest latency, or in the sense fastest possible way. And wherever the message will be traveling, it is with a Kafka topic. That means one microservice has to publish the data, publish the message into the Kafka topic. Kafka topic will be there inside the Kafka server, which will be running within the Zookeeper. Okay. So now that message has to be consumed, subscribed, used by one more microservice. You have to specify the Kafka topic name and where is the Kafka server present. That information you have to specify, and you have to subscribe that particular message into one more application. And this is how real-time data will be transferred between one microservice to another microservice. And it need not to be only for microservices. Need not to be that also. One REST API in general processing the real-time data to one more REST API. Okay, usually one microservice is one REST API only. very often being used in the microservice environment, wherein we will be developing so many microservices. And there is a high possibility that one microservice may have to use one more microservice, and sometimes a data communication between the two microservices need to be very fast. In that case, Apache Kafka can be used, can be implemented. Is that fine, everyone present in the class? All of you? Yes, no, maybe. Now the same concept of message broker we may have to implement, and we will demonstrate. What I have to develop, I'll be developing two applications, guys. One application I will develop from where I will get connected to Kafka server and I'll publish it. Okay. I will develop one Spring Boot application. Yes. I'll be developing one Spring Boot application, guys. I will connect to Kafka server. I will publish the data. I will develop one more Spring Boot application, one more REST API where I will subscribe the data, and I will demonstrate this. And also, guys, I will also upload one video where in one of the batch, there was one guy with some 10, I don't know, 10 plus years of experience, whose name is Amit, who had he had worked more than 5 years only in the Kafka domain. I mean, real-time data processing. He had worked with Apache Kafka from long period of time. He had also demonstrated the same concept, whatever I have discussed right now, whatever I'll try to implement and show you. He had also implemented that entire video. Also, I'll be uploading in your course dashboard. Okay. Oh, I have already mentioned, is it? Aditya says I have already mentioned about this. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll be asking our team to upload that also. Okay, so that you can also see more than what I discuss here. But the concept is clear, guys, everyone? All of you present in the class? See, guys, in the interview, they will not be asking. If they are asking, he's the full interviewer. No one will be asking, oh, tell me the name of the properties which is used to implement circuit breaker. You need not to say resilience 4j dot circuit breaker dot config dot default dot sliding window type dot. All of that no one will ask. If someone asks, you can understand the interviewer is simply time passing with you and he want to reject. No one can remember these properties names. Okay, all of you. It's not, even though if you work on a daily basis, you cannot remember. Example, guys, data JPA. The day we started data JPA, till now we are keep on using the, wherever we have developed the repository layer, DAO layer, we have implemented data JPA application.properties. Can you please tell me names of all the properties? We have used that for more than 100 times, I guess. I mean, for 3 months continuously we have used that. Can you recall it? All the names, exact names? No, right? So it's not humanly possible, those names, but what it should be doing, you should be knowing it. What to add, you should be knowing it as a developer, apart from knowing the concept. But everyone in the class knows, right, what is the purpose of data JPA and how to implement data JPA. That's more important. Yeah. So guys, we have something called as, are you getting is Spring for Apache Kafka. Publish, subscribe, store, process streams of record. Apache Kafka streams, building stream processing application with Apache Kafka streams. This is not needed. This is sufficient. All right, everyone. No, that is different, Akash. Reactive programming, WebSockets, these are little different. You may have to learn separately. All right, dear friends. And one more quick update, guys. In Hindi, I'm recording Spring Boot course. It is in the recording stage. And the moment Spring core is ready, I'll upload in the Udemy. But after that, with 1 2 3 weeks, I'll keep on adding the more videos. Okay. If someone is from the Hindi background, let me know. Tuesday's class, I will Monday or Tuesday. We may have tomorrow class. We may have Monday or Tuesday one last class, guys. That time I will try to share you the link, and I would be needing your support with respect to reviews. That will be helpful for me to grow. Uh, uh, Imagine, guys, getting 400 rupees entire Spring Boot course in Hindi. I think that is worth, right? Do you think it is worth if someone is learning? But initially, I'll be adding some content, and as we progress, I'll be adding more content. Okay, your help will be mattering, but all of you need not to. Okay, guys, it will be 30th or 31st. I will not be going to January 1st. Okay, Monday or Tuesday, we may have one last class. It's done. Because see, guys, spring is so vast that if we can keep on touching and we can keep on learning for 1 year also, it is an ocean. But according to me, from this scratch, I have made you to a level of you being versatile in the Spring Boot. You are now, your mindset is now versatile enough in the Spring Boot that if here and there one or two concepts are there, you can learn from yourself only, because I have made you a generic in Spring Boot. I hope I'm making sense. Yes, Udevanu. No, you can process the request. It is not for the processing the request there. That's different. It's like if there is a need of real time, fast data processing between two applications, Kafka as a message broker can be used. Like Kafka, if you Google, name 5 message brokers, you'll get so many. Kafka is one of them, which is more popular. But Apache Kafka is not the only one. There are so many other message brokers also which are available in the market. Okay. Maybe you have learned Kafka, you understood, oh, publisher is there, subscriber is there, Kafka topic, Kafka server, Zookeeper, you have understood, you have implemented. But in your project, they are not even using Kafka, they're using something else. Understanding? Huh? That will differ. It's not about the request, Uday Bhanu. It is about the real-time data transfers, not about the multiple requests. It is not load balancer to handle multiple requests. It is not circuit breaker pattern among failure among microservices. It will trigger. It is a message broker which will carry message from one application to the another application with lowest latency. That's it. Understanding? Hmm. Guys, in tomorrow's class, I will try to implement the Kafka, Apache Kafka with the Spring Boot publisher subscriber application. Okay. Apart from that, in the tomorrow's class, I'll be implementing, and then next week, maybe one class we can have, and we can conclude this beautiful batch. Okay. Thank you for being in this journey, my dear friends. We shall meet again in the tomorrow's class. It is not compulsory to learn Kubernetes. Docker is sufficient. Even if you have a generic idea about what is Kubernetes, that is sufficient. You should not need to know everything about it. Okay. That day in the application we have demonstrated, right, Akash? If you want, I can give you walkthrough also in the last class. Okay. Again, where association is already implemented. Guys, that application, I forgot to inform to update that. You will be getting one GitHub link, guys. Okay. with readme file also, where you can read all the things. It is very detailed, minute to minute details are also mentioned about the project which we have discussed. Apart from that, two more projects which are many, you can also refer to it based on whatever we have developed in our classes, and try to prepare for your interview based on that. As if you have already having experience, guys, interview is different than what you actually do in the job. Okay, interviews are always 10 times harder than what you actually do in the job. That has been happening with me for long. Okay, automatically if you just log out will be enabled in the Spring Security. It will automatically be logged out. J, it will be killed. Are they going to attach the project? Yeah, it will it the entire what is a GitHub link will be attached there. GitHub link for our last project would be given in the attachment, right? Yes, it will be given in the attachment. Are you sure on Saturday for doubt session? This Saturday I'm sure for the doubt session, Akash. I'll be available. I mean, I'll be in my village. I'll try to take the doubt session from my village, from my hometown. But at least I can hear and talk to you, and I'm sure about that. 5 p.m. I mean, uh, you can ask now only, no, for you guys. Like, if you want to talk to me, Akash, like, it's not like you have to attend that session. But apart from this example, guys, I'm closing the batch tomorrow or Monday, right? That's the last day. And if you want to talk to me, how to talk? You can connect me through the LinkedIn. If not, you can just attend the doubt sessions on Saturdays. Like that will keep on continuing. Akash is asking, what is that? In Spring Security, we do not have seen logout. That will be automatically killed, logout, because JW tokens will be stateless. So it will be killed. Yeah, you can attend. You can just make a request. As long as there is doubt session for 1-2 months, it is there. You can just have to reach out to our team and ask that, requesting for the link of 5 p.m. Okay. Sure, Akash, you can talk to me. Just raise the hand, Akash. Akash. Yeah, Akash.
Hello.
Yes, Akash.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have doubt regarding entities and their association. So
Okay.
entities, when we link two entities using one-to-one or one-to-many mapping,
Uh,
while saving it in database, do we have to manually like give foreign key in other table in association?
no, whatever you do with two objects, automatically the implementation, the impact will be there on the two tables of the database
Okay.
with just annotations, as you have seen on that day also.
So, so we don't have to do anything regarding that.
No.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Same project that day we have discussed the association part she was discussing
Okay.
was only that part of the class again. And
Okay.
in the last day of this batch, no, when I again give the walkthrough, that time I will open that particular code, and then you
Okay.
can just see. Okay, in
Okay, sir.
what here happens is, like, data API behind the scene uses ORM only,
Yes.
which is the ORM hibernate. That means whatever we do with the objects, Same thing will be happening with the tables.
Yes, right. Okay.
Alright, do we have any plan to take DSA course like Spring course? I don't. I had a plan actually, but right now I'm into generative AIs and all, because at the end of the day, AI will be should be used. Okay, so my preparation is going towards AI part. Also, I have a batch which is coming up on DevOps and cloud. So one batch is Spring Boot microservices, one batch is AWS and DevOps, and one batch is generative AI. In that case, I cannot put my leg on DSA also. Okay. So for the next 6 months, I have no plans. Sure, Saiji. Yes. It's available in the core dashboard only. I'm not sure about this number. I don't recall. Very soon, Saiji. And also, guys, 4 or 5 videos only have recorded on Jenkins videos also we have told to give you. It is on my head. Okay, apology for the delay. I have to record that. You will be getting in some time, but not very soon, but you will be getting in some time. Okay, guys, API gateway I will just share with you right now. That's the only remaining applications are remain same. Let me add the API gateway application. I'll say compress to zip file. Okay. Apart from this, I would like to go back here. You will be getting it today itself in the dashboard, Akash. Today itself, you might get in the dashboard of project session. Okay. There also you can request, but usually sometimes our team might not see. You can just text me or mail me. That will also be working. You can on LinkedIn or you can on my mail, najaficode@gmail.com. Guys, if I am not responding on the mails on the usual days, but at least on Saturday before the session, I always see the link. Okay, last time also someone had mailed me. I mean, when they have mailed, I'm not sure, but on Saturday before the session, I always see the mail before I start the out session. Okay, this Saturday I'm taking from the village. There might be a network issue. Doubt session will not be cancelled, but it might create some issues in the session. I'm not sure. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you again. Thank you for being with me in today's class. We shall meet again tomorrow exactly at 7 a.m. and continue the discussion. Thank you, every one of you.